Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Appreciate you jumping on. Do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. It definitely helps the channel. On today's episode, we are going to talk about three different items as it relates to XRP. One, XRP's secret weapon, the real world use case no one's talking about. In addition, we're going to talk about how XRP stacks up in the 2025's crypto wars. And then finally, we're going to talk about XRP insider secrets. So stick around for that. What whales and Ripple won't tell you. First, let's jump into some prices and take a look. Oh, is it ugly right now? Here's what I always say. Don't invest more than you can lose. Things like this happen. The market's going to drop. But remember, XRP, for example, we're at 220 now. A year ago, we were at 50 cents. So only invest what you can afford to lose and don't watch the charts every day. Don't get too emotionally tied to the charts. You have to step back. You have to let the markets do what they do. They will grow, but you have to give them time. You have to give it time to figure itself out. And I'm sure there's some games being played by the whales. Let them play, but eventually this is going to go back up. So Bitcoin sitting at 87,173. Not financial advice, of course. Do your own research. Ethereum sitting at 2,422. Tether back in the number three spot, $142 billion market cap. And XRP sitting at $2.20, as I mentioned. Solana down to the number six spot, sitting at $141. I view this as a great time to buy in, and I plan to do so. So, again, do your own research. Let's jump into some news over here on X, and coming from Smoke Dog, who always has great stuff for us. He says, yes, specifically, XRP specifically can be used with ISO 20022 messages. Take a listen. Let's listen to this interview about ISO 20022.
Until people are like, oh yeah, I need to move. Like I get that. Let's talk about ISO 222 for a second.
Sure.
Now, there's been a lot of hype, I'm just going to say, around that and certain tokens, specifically XRP, XLM. Are you familiar with all these as well that I'm talking about for this?
I'm really familiar with the ISO 20022 message set, and specifically the messages that allow you to move payments.
Yeah.
So I'm less familiar with the other standards you're talking about.
You're not familiar. So, there's standards that allow you to attach a crypto or a digital asset to the message, correct?
Yeah. So the big thing the United States is starting to put in place for financial institutions is the ISO 20022 messages to support wire transfer and to support these new real-time message networks.
Okay.
Now, what you could tie into with them is really a different, is really a use case. So you could have a link out, you could put that embedded in the message itself, but you really have to have an application that's going to leverage being able to pull that data out and move it around. Okay. So just to move the money, we're using a series of credit push, response messages, requests for payment, response to request for payment, request for information, response to request for information. So it's a very limited set of messages. And what's on the network today are even skinnier than what the networks want to support in the long term. So the volume on the network today is largely about moving funds from corporates to consumers or other businesses that the sender already had the account number and RTN number for. One of the bigger use cases is actually to send funds out and to fund some crypto wallets. So those are transactions on the network today, on the RTP network. When I talk about on the network and using real-time payments, we're really talking about the RTP network because it is live. FedNow won't be live until sometime in July. The Federal Reserve hasn't announced the specific.
So there you go. We've talked about ISO 2022 on this channel before, and XRP, amongst others, are connected with ISO 20022, and it's very important. And it's going to become important
until people are like, oh yeah, I need to move. I get that.
As we get closer to July, when this goes live, it's supposed to be March. It got pushed back. But remember, XRP isn't just a coin. It's quietly powering a financial revolution, and no one's really talking about it. Today, I'm uncovering the use cases that could make XRP unstoppable. Stick around and subscribe for the full scoop. Everyone knows about Ripple's bank partnerships, but did you know XRP is being tested for tokenized real estate in Dubai or micropayments for content creators in Japan? Listen to this stat. RippleNet's processed over $70 billion in transactions, faster and cheaper than Swift. That's real utility. Also, they have the RLUSD, which is their new stablecoin, on the XRP ledger. And it's not just for trading. It's aiming to bridge DeFi and traditional finance. Why is this a big deal? These use cases aren't just cool. They could drive XRP adoption beyond speculation, stabilizing its price long term. Bitcoin's a store of value, Ethereum's for smart chain contracts, XRP's carving a niche no one else owns. This is, of course, speculation, but if tokenized assets take off, XRP's speed could make it the backbone of a $1 trillion market. So, you think XRP is just another crypto? Tell me your favorite use case below. Want more hidden gems like this? Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. I'm digging deeper every week. Let's move on to another video here from Mondo Finance and Mr. Joel Katz, as Ando's bringing some new stuff into this industry as well. Take a listen.
But I think we're going to have to turn the corner to institutional adoption and towards retail adoption with use cases that actually have real world utility and aren't just completely speculative. And that's going to mean access to the real world financial system and assets in the real world. So real world asset tokenization is the big one. But I think with
real world asset tokenization, and that's what Ripple is moving towards. So great to hear from Joel Katz there. So how is Ripple stacking up? XRP versus the world. XRP is fighting for its life in 2025 so far. Could it take down Bitcoin, Ethereum, and new kids like Solana? I've got a scorecard you won't see anywhere else. So let's talk about it. The matchups. Bitcoin versus XRP. Speed. XRP's 4-second settlement crushes Bitcoin's 10-minute blocks. But Bitcoin's got the brand. Score 8 versus 9 for recognition. How about versus Ethereum? Ethereum's got DeFi, but XRP's got cheaper fees, and RLUSD could steal the show. I would say score 7 versus 8 for versatility. And then versus Solana. Solana's fast too, but XRP's centralized edge means less downtime. You hear a lot about Solana being down. You don't hear about that about the XRP ledger. I would say 8 versus 7 for reliability versus Solana. So what is XRP's edge? XRP is not trying to be everything. It's laser focused on payments and cross-border tech. That's really its superpower. With ETF buzz and Ripple's legal wins, XRP's got momentum no one saw coming. Who's your crypto champ? Let me know in the comments. Is it XRP or is it someone else? Love the battles between these coins. You can own more than one. It's really up to you. Again, and what's your motive behind it? Have you done the research in these coins? I'm pitting XRP against the next big thing. That's my position right now. Let's move on here to Mr. Mann from RippleNet. He says RippleNet now has over 300 plus bank partners, and it's amazing. It's making big moves. Europe is working with Ripple to use XRPL for a Euro stablecoin, and the UK is partnering with Ripple on a stablecoin project as well. Brad Carlinghouse has even mentioned plans for a Japan stablecoin. Let's take a listen to this brief interview regarding the RippleNet ecosystem.
And again, touching on the Ripple ecosystem, so a bit of context, what is Ripple? So I mentioned the idea of moving value like information moves today. And that's the important concept, because our whole vision is very internet centric. So the network we're creating for moving value between banks and between payment companies, if you look at it, it looks like the internet. So we call it an internet of value, both in terms of the digital assets that you can access across that network, and also in how the ledgers in the banks and payment companies connected to that network are coordinated by it in order to enable value to move, balances to be updated in different parts of the world, including cross-border FX in microseconds, and clear into local networks incredibly quickly. So that whole internet model has the advantage of not creating any hub and spoke. There's no big Ripple data center anywhere crunching centralized payment exchanges. We are very much an open network, and we deliver value through the work of the banks and the payment companies and the e-marketplaces which are plugged into Ripple, who then offer those superior services to their own customers, small companies or individuals, large companies, using the power of the Ripple network. And also, any network today that's international cannot succeed without governance. So we established a governance body, the RippleNet Committee. RippleNet customers are members of that community, and these companies adhere to clear rule sets around how information is then exchanged over Ripple. We are big supporters and big implementers of ISO 20022. So that's very much part of everything we do.
There you go. The last thing he said there. A major part of what they do is ISO 20022. We heard that in an earlier video. So XRP, they connect all the dots. Ripple connects all the dots. But there's stuff about XRP, even Ripple's keeping quiet in my mind. Whales are moving, and you can see it. You follow some of these other accounts. On February 23rd, $75 million worth of XRP hit Coinbase. Was that whales dumping, or was that strategic stacking? Ripple still holds 40% of XRP's supply in escrow. Are they suppressing prices to favor banks? It's another thing you have to be concerned about. And posts on X are buzzing, saying some insiders know an ETF approval is imminent. We've heard a lot about that recently. So what does this mean for us? Whales move could signal volatility, great for traders, risky for holders. Ripple's escrow releases are predictable. Check their schedule to time your buys, because they do have a schedule of those escrow releases. But there is no proof of manipulation. But XRP's centralized roots make it a lightning rod for debate. So, next time I'll track another whale. Do me a favor, hit that bell and subscribe. What's your XRP theory? Where do you stand on this coin? I'm going to continue to give you inside information. Do me a favor, continue to follow, hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you on the flip side.